or is a list of the most miserable fan bases in pro sports. Now, it's divided out amongst NFL, baseball, NBA, and NHL teams. But the most miserable fan base in all of major American sports is not the Padres. It's not the Browns. It's not the Florida Panthers. It's not the Buffalo Bills. Folks, according to ESPN, the most miserable fan base in all of sports, and by the way, by a really decent margin, your Sacramento Kings. The 5 factors they used in the Fan Misery Index, or FMI: championships, playoff berths, playoff wins, heartbreakers, and comparisons to your rivals. Here's what they say, and then we'll get Sam on. Name a trigger for misery, and a Kings fan can relate, even if you ignore the fact that the franchise hasn't won a championship since moving to Sacramento in 1985. The Kings haven't made the playoffs since 2006, the longest drought in the NBA. And they haven't won a playoff series since 2004, meaning a teenage sports fan can't remember seeing the franchise triumph in anything important. But it gets worse. In the fleeting moment in which the Kings were really good, they lost to the Lakers in the 2002 Western Conference Finals after some controversial officiating in Game 6. Does the name Tim Donaghy ring a bell?
It's not controversial as much as it was crooked.
That too. Along with an overtime loss at home in Game 7. And speaking of the Lakers, Kings fans have had to watch Laker fans celebrate 5 championships since 2000, and Warrior fans celebrate their current 3 championship and counting dynasty. There is nothing worse than being a fan of the Sacramento Kings right now. Help them, Marvin Bagley. You know what? I'm going to say 2 things about that. Sam's ready to go, by the way. That wasn't one of the things I was going to say. That's like a precursor. Here's my 2 things. Number 1, I don't disagree with that ranking. There was nothing in there that was not factual. And number 2, middle fingers in the air. Good. I like it. I like it like that. No bandwagoners here. No Johnny or Janie come-latelys. No fresh-pressed, brand-new jerseys and brand-new caps with the tags still on them. And little kids running around elementary school playgrounds like I have to see all the time with the Warriors at my kids' schools. You know what? Good. This is where we find out, as we have for years, who is the true fan base. And you know what? I read Sacktown Royalty. I read KingsFans.com. I read Kings Reddit. I read all the coverage. And the comment boards are always active regardless of the month, whether it's summer or whether it's winter. They're passionate. They're engaged. The Sacramento Kings may be the worst team in professional sports in America to root for. And because of that, I say to you, they have the best fan base in professional sports. The most loyal, the most passionate, the most engaged.
I can't wait till they're good again and you guys get all the bandwagon fans. And then you get called a bandwagoner every time you wear a Kings hat. Oh, I can't wait. Anyways, we have a super important guest on.
We're going to be the worst.
It's his first time, and I don't want to keep him waiting.
Joining us right now from The Athletic, originally from Pleasanton, California, former beat writer of those Sacramento Kings, and now he's made it big. The one, the only, Sam Amick. Hello, Sam. I'm Carmichael Dave. That's Kyle Madson. Thank you for joining us for the very first time, the first of what I hope is many, many guest appearances. How are you?
Good morning, Dave. It's very nice to be with you. I've heard about you through all these years, and as you may have heard about my new place of employment, I'm humbled. We're trying to get going. We are kind of a plucky little media company, and it's very kind of you to have me on.
I want to say, before we get into the meat and the potatoes of our interview, I have done this privately. I will now do it publicly. I would like to do something I rarely do. Actually, I do this all the time on the show, but for different reasons. I would like to publicly apologize to Sam Amick. Sam is a real friend of mine. He's a real friend outside of the radio show. And Sam and I will confide in each other things. When we had Matt Barrows on a couple of weeks ago, made a mention of all the talent that the Athletic was picking up, and that now Matt would be working side by side, of course, with his former newsroom teammate at the Sacramento Bee, Sam Amick. That's great. I was trying to compliment my friend Sam. What I failed to remember was that Sam's move was not yet announced or official. Now, Damian Lillard might stand in front of me and say, I announced it, and that's true. It was announced. It was announced by Damian Lillard. But
not Damon Stoudemire.
It was not officially, I did it right. It was not officially announced, and I felt terrible about it, and Sam couldn't have been nicer, despite the fact that I completely violated our trust. So I am sorry, Sam.
No need for an apology. I'm forgetting who texted me. It was a mutual friend, but it was funny because I wasn't listening to the show that day. I hate to admit
Come on, dude.
And I know.
Yeah.
And I get a text. It was like, yo, congrats. And I forget, was that before Damian put his thing out, or was it after?
Okay. It was after.
All right. It's harmless. It's harmless. What's funny is I learned quickly, day by day, I'm starting to actually feel like part of the new company. It's, job changes they have a transition period. But, it's a smart company. So they try to roll out their people in a certain kind of way. So the marketing component has been fascinating to watch behind the curtain, where they're strategizing with their social media team about, if we roll it out this way, we think it'll have maximum impact. They clearly didn't realize the way that Carmichael Dave resonates. I mean, that, I'm sure you just had people running to the computers to subscribe. So thank you.
Yes, and I hope you get a piece of all three of those subscriptions we got for you.
Sign up, people. Help a brother out.
Hey, I said this before. I'll say it again. I say it when we have Matt on. I no joke, I've been a subscriber to The Athletic for 9 months now. I started out with the free trial. It's super clean. They have an amazing amount of really good writers, and it's all curated. And I know how people are. I know how a lot of people are, I'm not paying for. Well, okay, well, then don't pay for it. And you're going to miss a hell of a lot of fantastic coverage. And you're paying for what amounts to like a drink at a bar each month. A nice bar, but still a bar. I mean, it's under $10.
Well, not now. I mean, you might have got the higher rate.
Great point.
You can do. I looked at it yesterday. And now I'm a commercial.
Sell.
But, yes, but it's like if you do like a 2-year, one-time payment type thing, it was like $333 a month. And so then I went. Oh. Yeah. So then I went to Starbucks. Or no, it wasn't Starbucks. It was even a swankier coffee joint, and then it was like $4.50 for my coffee, and I was like, man, $4.50.
That's more than
that.
that.
Here's the funny part. We got to move on to talk hoops, but this did crack me up. I'm at my sister's house in San Clemente right now. I'm in between Lakers camp in L.A. and Nuggets camp in San Diego, and we had a fun get-together last night with some family, but also some friends. And so one of the friends who I know, a great guy named JP, he's like, so where are you working? And I said, it's called The Athletic. And he goes, I've heard about it. He goes, they always have the really good articles, and then I get pissed off because they want me to pay for them.
Right. Dude, come on. Get off your wallet, people. It's good stuff.
All right, let's talk hoops, brother.
All right, well, good.
What are you going to do here?
How about the segue? Because you said something about taking a peek behind the curtain. So watch this.
Sure.
Speaking of behind the curtain, saw you the other day in front of the curtain climbing on a podium so that you could get a good angle on LeBron James at Lakers Media Day. And I will tell you, as somebody who attended the Kings Media Day, and this is no disrespect to the Kings, it was just very calm, very, very businesslike, handled all the stuff. That must have been an absolute zoo over there.
It wasn't as crazy as I thought it was going to be. The big difference between the past years and this year was LeBron. Well, I mean, now listen, the picture you saw was day number 2. And so that was training camp versus media day. And so in camp, I be honest, from a PR standpoint, it kind of drives me nuts when teams constantly bring one player out at a time. Yeah. Like, as a reporter, I would honestly, I would love to not talk to LeBron and you bring me Michael Beasley and I can get him for a couple minutes, but that's not how the Lakers have been doing it. LeBron's out there by himself. That was a madhouse because everybody is gathering around him. But on media day, he did the podium press conference approach, which was a pretty significant difference from all those years with Kobe. It would be comical because Kobe would, on media day, stand in the middle of the room and just not have a podium, not have anything. And it was a madhouse because he's surrounded 360 degrees by media members, and it's pointless. So, they always have a circus, but there was certainly a big crowd down there, and it's still pretty surreal to see him in that jersey and have this be a real thing.
Now, let me I just real quick on a serious note want to go back to your deal with The Athletic, just simply to help explain to the audience. Obviously, you came from USA Today, where people have known you for years, also the Sacramento Bee. What will your coverage entail? Is it changing at all at The Athletic? Are you focusing on different stuff, or is it the same, if not better, that we got before from Sam Amick now?
Essentially, so the same job coverage-wise in terms of across the NBA. At the old job, it was myself and Jeff Zilgett, kind of the two-man team covering the league. Here, you've got Shams Charania, who's a fantastic reporter, newsbreaker. My role is going to be more of the, informed storytelling style. That's the part I'm excited about, is that it was, getting tougher and tougher through the years to write the kinds of stories that I think the hardcore fans really want, in terms of not only length, but style. And there's a reality that comes with, again, I'm putting the commercial hat on, but like advertising driven, media coverage, is that you have to constantly write and report on, mostly just the highest profile things. And they teach you that everybody's reading on their phone, so keep it short. But I think there's definitely a market for folks who want to know more about what's going on behind the scenes. They want to know, the machinations of the league. And even like this Jimmy Butler stuff, a couple of our guys, Shams and John Krasinski out of Minnesota, have been doing fantastic work explaining all the drama, not only which teams might get Jimmy, but the personal human element of it. And, the tension between Jimmy and the Wolves and Tom Thibodeau and how upset he is, and the owner, Glenn Taylor. Like, that type of reporting and storytelling is a lot easier to do on this platform, and that's the main reason that I wanted to jump over there. But, I'm going to be probably still a little Western Conference heavy, Lakers, Rockets, Thunder, Spurs, teams like that. But, it'll be fun. Looking forward to it.
Sam Amick with us. Sam, speaking of Jimmy Butler, obviously in this segment of our radio audience, a lot of very interested eyes and ears, because the Kings have not only the most cap space by a decent margin in the NBA, but also have three very friendly veteran contracts in Iman Shumpert, Zach Randolph, and Kosta Koufos, totaling just this side of $30 million to play with, whether intentionally or not, and I believe it was intentionally. Vlade Divac and Brandon Williams have put them in a spot where they can be a facilitator, but it sounds like, at least the whispers, is that people aren't sure around the NBA how serious Tom Thibodeau is. It seems to be a deal between him and Glenn Taylor, and nobody's really sure how active they are and motivated they are to trade Jimmy Butler. What is your read on that situation?
It's been wild. Yesterday I was going to go to Lakers training camp practice, and then I didn't and I was in LA, obviously, because some of the noise got loud enough on the prospect of Jimmy going to Miami that, I was trying to make phone calls and reach out to people. So, it seemed to heat up yesterday. And then there was this weird situation where the Heat canceled their second practice, and they claimed that it was because they couldn't get the gym, which is kind of comical. You're the Miami Heat. And so that, sometimes that can be an indication that a trade is coming. But then by the end of the day, everything changed. And now the new, as of this morning, the new intel is that, Minnesota's price tag is extremely high. I've heard some incredible packages. These are rumors. These are not confirmed, but just through the moon trade packages that Minnesota allegedly turned down. So this morning it's not going forward at all. And I had just tweeted some stuff about the fact that Philadelphia is out completely right now, and they never got any real traction. The Kings, what I've been told is that they certainly have interest in serving as a third team in this type of a situation. Their focus is a 2019 first rounder. They're trying to just accumulate assets, and they're reticent to take on too many bad contracts because they don't want to impact their money going forward. But like you said, they have the kind of flexibility that comes in handy in situations like this. But I'm curious tomorrow, most likely I'm going to be connecting with Minnesota in person because they're in the Bay to play the Warriors on Saturday. And, to say it's a tense situation with their organization is an understatement. We've seen trade demands before. I don't know that we've seen them right before camp and with this kind of pressure. So it's pretty interesting.
Is there any chance Tom Thibodeau makes it through the season?
Sure. Yeah, the tricky thing that I learned the other day, and I think this is accurate, is that, my first thought would be, well, yeah, as the coach, maybe stripped of the front office title. That sometimes is not really an option. Sure, if, I think, the reason that he might get jettisoned completely is that I think if Glenn Taylor tried to make him just the coach, that Tibbs would probably just quit. Because contractually, and this is talking to an agent who deals in these kinds of things, contractually, I don't get the impression that they have the ability to simply take a couple titles away from him. You kind of have to either employ him or you fire him. And so it's not good at all with Tibbs and his owner right now because, Tibbs obviously wants to go ahead and play this staring contest game all season long. Glenn has no interest in doing that. Not a good deal when other teams are having to go around the front office and deal straight with the owner. So, bear in mind too, there were already kind of rumblings kind of early in the summer that maybe Tibbs was kind of poking around with other situations and looking for his next move. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Sam Amick with us of The Athletic. And just to wrap this whole thing up and go back to the beginning where we started with Damian Lillard breaking the story on his Twitter account that you were moving to The Athletic. Now, one of your first articles for them, you talk to Damian and kind of go through not only his offseason, what's coming up, but you start out asking him about, hey, what were you doing, basically? And I want to read the quote here, and it's a fairly lengthy quote. But he says, just a case of putting the shoe on the other foot. I think there's a lot of stuff we go through as players or a story might come out that might have a bit of truth, but somebody adds to it or puts their own spin on it. We don't have a chance to say, no, I don't want that to get out. In this case, I'm basically showing you how it feels to be vulnerable, I guess, or to be at somebody else's mercy about something you might not want out. Now, I loved what he did, and I thought it was fun, and I told you this on the phone privately, I thought that was the best advertising you could get. This is amazing. I read that quote, though, and I'm speaking kind of as your friend now here, to be honest. Correct me if I'm wrong. I took that quote completely different. Like Damian Lillard's trying to teach you and others a lesson, and though I understand the logic of it, it seemed, I took it as fun in the beginning. It seemed that he was kind of explaining it was a little bit of fun, but also there was a little bit of an edge to what I did as well. Yeah,
I agree. I think the only nuance I would add is that he, to his credit, he kind of managed, at least as far as in that conversation, I essentially felt like I became the vehicle for him to get that point across. Yeah. I didn't take it personally at all. And the truth is that there's one component here that I almost feel guilty for not sharing more transparently in terms of I'll put it this way. What I thought was funny and kind of neat was that if you asked me what kind of reporter Damian Lillard was, I would tell you he was an ethical one, because I know for a fact that of all these different media situations that he explored and learned about, that there were multiple scenarios where he chose not to report it because the person had asked him not to. And so the irony here is that he actually did respect people's personal situations, myself included. So, and I'll probably leave it there. But it was him dipping his toe into this world. And I understand the spirit of what he's saying. It's not going to change anything in terms of, for the most part, how things get reported on. But it's not as easy as saying, well, these guys get paid a lot of money, so they should just deal with it. They're still human, and they wake up in the morning and they see something on Twitter about them and some issue they have with their teammate, or, I think it's one thing in the old days when these guys got written about in the paper and there was 3 or 4 or 5 media outlets that might talk about their lives. I mean, now I'm sure it feels like there's 117 different voices coming at you every single day, and I think that's partly what he was hitting on.
Well, one of the handful of voices that stands up amongst all of those and above all of those, especially in the world of basketball media, is our very own Sam Amick, who joins us throughout the NBA season. Buddy, congratulations to you and the family on what I'm sure is going to be a good move. I'm sure and I hope you've had full support from all your colleagues on your venture, and I look forward to talking to you throughout the year, my man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
You take care. That is Sam Amick of The Athletic. See, before that was USA Today. I know Sam's had a road, man, but no matter where he goes, he does great reporting.
Yeah, when I first called him, I was like, hey, Sam, this is Kyle with Sports 1140 KHTK in Sacramento. I want to thank you so much for giving us a few minutes.
Appreciate you. You know what's funny? We got a break here, but you know what's funny about Sam, too? Sam's like a really big get nationally.
Yes.
Like he's a very big
he's
get.
Like on Rome.
He's on Rome all the time. He's on par with guys like Adrian Wojnarowski and different.
Yes.
There's like a top 3, top 4 hierarchy, and I never take that for granted. To be clear, I never do take it for granted, but sometimes I have to stop myself and be like, oh, Sam. Like, it's just Sam. It's Sam.
Right.
It's Sam.
Right.
But,
not every local radio show is able to just call up Sam Amick.
Well, we're lucky. We're very lucky, and I hope you feel that way, too. We'll take
Sam's
a break.
Great.
When we come back up, they're already here. Sean Willingham from the PBR is going to join us in studio.
Some quick NFL breaking news.
Oh, we'll get to that at the top of the segment then. All right. Wait, right now? Oh, go for it.
I was gonna just drop it now.
You want to drop it now?
We can drop it now. We can drop it at the top of the segment.
Breaking news. We're going to have some breaking news at the top of the next segment right here on The Drive. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Week 4 of the NFL starts with a great NFC matchup featuring the undefeated Los Angeles Rams hosting the Minnesota Vikings.
What's going to go? Touchdown LA!
Coverage begins tonight at 5 following Grant and Doug here on your home of the NFL. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Carmichael Dave here from a good friend, Dr. Jack Friedlander, and everybody over at NorCal Lipo. Hey, listen, you are happy with the way you look, good for you. If you're not happy with the way you look, if you've got a problem area somewhere or your entire body is your problem area, go see Dr. Jack. And I'm not saying, hey, go get it done now. All I'm saying is go see him. Go see him for free. Go see him and sit down, say hello. Hey, my good buddy Carmichael Dave sent me over, and let him look at you and let him assess exactly what he can do for you. He's a straight shooter. He's a guy that completely understands that it is a very intimidating world that he lives in, but as somebody who's gone through it, don't be intimidated. It couldn't be easier. It's an outpatient procedure that permanently removes fat, all that unwanted fat that you don't want any part of with his Vaser and Vaser high-def technology. Make a free and private, no-obligation consultation appointment at 347-7755. That's 916-347-7755 and NorCalLipo.com. That's NorCalLipo.com. Get in there today, and you tell him your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent ya.
This Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute brought to you by Navien Tankless Water Heaters. Proven performance for endless hot water. The multi-talented Rams remain atop my power rankings. Only injuries can derail them. The defending champion Eagles are only one step behind as Carson Wentz shakes off the rust. Meantime, can my favorite NFL redshirt quarterback Patrick Mahomes keep outscoring the Chiefs' poorest defense? Few folks are talking about the Dolphins' Ryan Tannehill, but they will if he aces Sunday's big test in Foxborough. And the Jaguars would be higher if their offense wasn't so brutal last week. Carolina, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Chicago, and Minnesota round out my first New England-less top 10 in memory. On the flop side, the Bills have blasted out of the basement and up to 27th, followed by the roller coaster Jets. Then come the rapidly sinking 49ers, Raiders, Texans, and Cardinals, who will finally start rookie quarterback Josh Rosen. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Hi, Kevin Harlan for Navien Tankless Water Heaters. With fall coming, energy bills will be on the rise. That's why now is a good time to install an energy-efficient Navien Tankless Water Heater. In fact, Navien earned the industry's highest Energy Star rating. A Navien Tankless Water Heater is a smart alternative to that old energy-wasting tank water heater. Fall's coming, so start cutting your energy bills with a Navien Tankless Water Heater. For the name of your professional Navien contractor, visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.
Would you rather pay top dollar for things you want or save money and get them for less? It's a no-brainer, folks. At O'Reilly Auto Parts, you're guaranteed to get the everyday low price on the parts you need. From cleaners, fluids, and filters to batteries, tires, and more, O'Reilly Auto Parts will match any local auto parts store's price on any like item. Stand up and ask for your match. Then see how easy it is to get it. O'Reilly Auto Parts has the parts you need at guaranteed low prices. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day.
Years of drought, millions of dead trees, extreme winds, and leading scientists say there will be even more dangerous fires in the years ahead. Our weather is changing, and we all need to work together to get ready. Hi, I'm Lisa Velis-Waweru from PG&E. At PG&E, we are accelerating our forest management work in high fire threat areas, removing dead trees and trimming vegetation back 12 feet from power lines. As part of our community wildfire safety program, we are implementing additional safety measures to further reduce wildfire risks, including a 24-hour wildfire safety operations center, new early warning weather stations, and stronger power lines in high fire threat areas. And we want to make sure you know what steps you can take, like cutting back vegetation around your home, having the right emergency plan, and signing up for safety alerts. For more information on how to keep you and your neighborhood safe, visit pge.com/wildfiresafety.
Did you know the Maida Chevy Used Car Superstore has over 350 quality pre-owned available, plus over 105 below $15,000. See them all online at MaidaChevy.com. Maida Chevy, find new roads.
Now your sports update. Powered by Mercury Insurance.
It's Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The A's kept their hope for the first wildcard spot alive last night with a 9-3 win over the Mariners. The Rays topped the Yankees 8-7, moving the A's to 1.5 back of New York for the right to host the wildcard game next Wednesday. Oakland's elimination number is just 2 for that first wildcard spot, so they need to win their upcoming series against the Angels and get some help from the Rays and Red Sox, who each play the Yankees over the next 4 days. Oakland is off tonight. They'll open their series in Anaheim tomorrow. In some other close MLB postseason races, the Rockies moved a half game ahead of the Dodgers for the NL West lead with a 14-0 shutout of the Phillies, while the Dodgers fell to the Diamondbacks 7-2 last night. The Cubs maintained their half-game lead in the NL Central with a 7-6 win over the Pirates in 10 innings, while the Brewers kept pace with their fourth straight win, a 2-1 victory over the Cardinals. The Brewers hold a 4-game lead on the first wild-card spot in the NL. The Dodgers hold the second spot, 1 game ahead of St. Louis. So some fun postseason races to follow as we wind down the MLB regular season. It's 8:32. Time to visit StocktonHonda.com anytime, anywhere.
To call the drive, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. You can also text them at 441140. They're ready to believe you.
Drinks on them. Hey, we're having fun in here. Every single year for, gosh, I don't know, long time now. My good buddy Kirk, who works with the PBR, and I go all the way back with him to the Sacramento Kings and many, many other things that we've been through together. He's always nice enough to bring me somebody in from the PBR. It's one of my favorite interviews of the year. Across from me right now. Now, let me get all this out correctly. I even wrote it down and everything. The Sacramento Invitational is January 25th to 27th. It's going to be at the Golden One Center. You can get tickets at Ticketmaster.com. There is a pre-sale. Kirk, am I okay with saying the pre-sale on here? All right, the pre-sale going on right now. You can get 15% off. That code is Good Time. I don't know if you need all caps, but I wrote it in all caps, so there you go. Good Time. And joining us, one of the guys putting himself in harm's way, Sean Willingham. Sean, it's Dave. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
You know, I'm great. This really is, I'm not trying to, it's not like I'm going to have somebody come in and be like, I don't really want to do this. Of course, I'm going to say I want to do it, but I really do enjoy talking to you guys every year. I am not what you would call, I mean, I don't know, maybe I am, but I would think I'm not in that general, not a big country music guy. I don't know much about horses. I don't know. But my girlfriend, and I tell this story once a year, literally dragged me to a PBR event. God, I've been married 11 years, so ex-girlfriend. 15, 16 years ago, and I think I've missed 2 because I'm out of town. It is so amazing watching up close what you guys do.
Well, thank you. It's a very intense sport. I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy riding and putting on a great show for people that are not accustomed to our lifestyle. And, you know, once they come and see us, people just like yourself, you know, if you kind of on the fence and then you went and seen it and now you're a fan, you haven't missed but 2 just because you was out of town.
Right.
You know, that's what we shoot for, is to bring in new people and people that's not very overwhelmed of what we're doing for a living, and is trying to conquer these bulls for 8 seconds. And it's a very intense and grueling sport, and something if you've never seen, I mean, definitely come check us out, especially here Sacramento. We've been coming here for a long time. We have sellout crowds every year, so want to get your tickets early now, we'll give you a discount if you buy them right now.
A couple of standard questions I always ask, because you guys come in, and I deal with athletes all the time, and without fail, you PBR guys are always, you're super punctual, super polite, really seem humbled to be able to get the message out, and such good human beings. But there has to be a large percentage of you that is just flat out crazy to willingly get on these beasts that weigh 1 billion pounds, that are being, how can I say this on the radio, encouraged to want to throw you off. How did you, a nice young man like yourself, get into this sport?
Well, through basketball. No, as a kid, that was my dream, was to play basketball in the NBA. And, you know, I was a very competitive athlete growing up, playing football and basketball and baseball. And then when I was 15, I got introduced to the sport of rodeo and got a horse and had it trained to try to do some roping off of it. And the horse was crazy, and I didn't really care for that because I thought it would be tame. But then everybody's like, well, you don't like horses? I'm like, no, but I ride bulls, because I knew from the get-go that they was crazy and they wanted me off their back. There was no surprises other than horses. You get on one of them and you think it should be normal, then they flip out and do something crazy. It just I wasn't prepared for that. But now, you know, I prepare myself to get on these bulls because I know they're crazy and they're going to be bucking wild, you know, as soon as I get on them.
Now, if my research is right, born and bred, still live, in fact, in Somerville, Georgia. So growing up being an NBA guy, were you a Hawks fan?
Yes.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Is that what turned you off from getting into basketball?
Yeah, I think so. They just keep on having terrible seasons, and then they give us hope, and then they let you down. It's almost like watching the Braves play baseball. You know, they're about the same way as well. And then, of course, heck, then we got the Falcons, you know. Never know what they're going to do neither.
No.
That would blow a 21-point lead in the Super Bowl. That's real smart.
But
anyway.
Are you old enough to, you were pretty young. You remember the Maddox Smoltz.
Yes.
So you have memories of their championship that they did
I
give
sure do.
Okay. So
I have a Maddox rookie card signed by him.
Really?
So it's pretty. I keep it in a glass case. I don't let it venture off very, very far. Second
standard question I tend to ask. I always got to ask you guys to go ahead and name off injuries that you have suffered in the process of entertaining the crowd.
Let's just start off with a broken neck.
Whoa, hold on.
2015, broke my neck. 2014, dislocated hip. 2001, cracked skull.
Can we go back to you broke your neck? You broke your neck?
Shoot, that was one of the easiest ones to overcome, other than half of the stuff that I did, really.
My God.
Even though, you know, people say you break your neck, you're out, you're done, you never ride bulls again.
Sure.
The way I broke my neck, they said if you're going to break your neck, that's the way to break your neck. And I'm all like, well, I don't. I definitely don't put that on anybody ever, but
right.
You know, I was okay. I only was in the neck brace for 12 weeks, and as soon as I took it off, I did some rehab and was back within 14 weeks riding bulls.
First time you get back on that bull after a broken neck, is that in your head at all?
No, I try not to think about it.
Wow.
We're very overwhelmed. You know, we understand the sport. We know the injuries. So you try not to think about it. You're always concerned what it's going to feel like the first jump when you do get back on one. But then after that, it all, you know, instinct takes over, and then reactions are taking over your brain. And
I'm always fascinated because, you know, on the surface, you think, oh, these PBR riders, they're just a bunch of hicks from whatever. And you guys are so intelligent, and you're so very in tune with what you do and the dangers that come with it. And I find this in common, whether it's a race car driver or any athlete that participates in a sport that in truth, you don't know what can happen. And I remember watching after I started going to the PBRs, that same girlfriend maybe watch a movie called 8 Seconds.
Oh, yeah.
The story of Lane Frost. And I don't know if that's like the best depiction or not, Luke Perry playing Lane Frost, but watching that and Tuff Hedeman and really learning about how it truly can be a life and death thing. Obviously, there's this deep-seated love for the sport you guys have that kind of overcomes all that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. You're dealing with a 2,000-pound animal, so you have to love it. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to do this for my girlfriend or impress all the girls in the crowd, because then your mind's over there, and
Sure.
it's not focusing on, the bull that you're getting on. They're still live, real animals, so anything can happen, and it can change within a second. You can be on top of the world, and then the next one you get on, you can be out for, who knows? You may not ever be able to get on another one. So it's really dangerous, and so we're well aware of that, and try not to think about the dangers, because we understand the sport and we know how dangerous it is and what can happen.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting here talking about all the dangers with you, and you're trying not to think about it. Good job, Dave. Sean Willingham of the PBR is with us. Pre-sale happening right now, 15% off. Just go to Ticketmaster.com. Here's the code, good time, and that will be the Sacramento Invitational, January 25th to 27th. I mentioned how Kirk is a friend of mine, kind of, because a couple years ago, he roped me, pun intended, into is it called the Shark Tank? Shark Cage? Shark Cage?
Shark Cage.
Shark. Yeah, I sat there for a while, and at one point, one of the bulls got away and came right for. I actually videoed it, and I think the PBR put it up. It came right at and smashed right into the cage. It was the coolest, most thrilling, most scary, thankfully I was wearing dark underpants moment of my life, and I remember going through that and going, okay, now I know these guys are a little bit nuts too, because I'm in a cage. Right. You guys are on top of these bulls, man.
Well, shoot, if they get after us like that, we're trying to get in that cage with you before they get there.
You got those clowns, the guys that are distracting them and all that. I don't know which is crazier, you guys getting on the bulls, or these guys literally saying, hey,
I'm over here.
I'm over here. Come get me.
They're the crazy ones, I think.
Shoot.
I couldn't do it. I was always taught, riding bulls to get away from them. Right. These guys are taught to go to them, and there's no way. My knees would buckle, and I would be wrecked out every time I got to try to get in front of one.
Is there, much like in boxing, there's your top-ranked boxers. In any sport, you've got your studs, your all-stars. And what's great about the PBR to me is that it's both animal and human that are the superstars. When you go into something, let's say like the Sacramento Invitational, is there a bull or two you're looking at and you're like, oh, that's the best one, I want that guy? Or do you like to keep it kind of middle of the road? It's going to give you a challenge. You don't have to throw the flag, but at the same time, it's not going to throw you into the 8th row. How do you approach something like that?
I want the best one there, because that, there's, we're scored 1 to 50 points for the bull and then 1 to 50 for me. So you want one of them bulls that's going to give you a higher score.
Sure.
To give you a chance to win. So I'd rather get on the best bull there every weekend and only ride them, 30% of the time, other than getting the ones that you're only going to be the mid-80s or borderline having to throw the flag and get on a re-ride, just because that's the bulls I like to ride, is the ranker ones and show my talent. And they challenge you,
Sure.
The better they are, the more that they're going to challenge me. You get on the easier ones. They're not really much a challenge for us at this level. But you don't really see many of those bulls around at this level. They tend to bring the best of the best here.
Is there one in particular that's in your head that you want? If you could pick all the bulls, is there one that stands out for you?
Ooh. Yeah, I'd like to give a bull I got on last weekend ago again, called Kid Fletcher. He was pretty good. And
yeah.
I'd never seen him before. It's the first time I saw him last weekend, and he got me down right at 7 seconds. So that was pretty close to the whistle, and I think me and him's going to have a rematch pretty soon.
Last thing for you. In the NBA or pretty much in any other sport, they're scouting. People watch tape, they'll watch video, they'll learn tendencies of their opponents. Is that the same thing with you guys riding? Do you watch film on these bulls?
I do not watch film.
Okay.
Some guys do, just to kind of get a feel about what they're going to do. But, it's a bull. You could bet on the same bull 3 times in a row. That 4th time you get on him, he's liable to do something totally different. So there's not really setting a game plan for the bulls, because they go off feel as well, and they buck different every time. Some of them have the same pattern every trip, but then you go to set a trap, like you overthink it, get to one side, they feel that weight shifted in there, and they'll do something totally different.
That's fascinating to me. You're completely educated me, because I would have thought the exact opposite, that you'd want to learn their tendencies. That this guy goes left, this guy when he spins around likes to jump up, but you know obviously much better than I. I didn't realize they would go out so much different.
Yeah, they'll change it up on you. That's why it's so tricky to stay on the top of the world in this sport, because the bulls are all different. Even if I'm telling you, I mean, I've been on bulls at 3 or 4 times, and then have them again. You're like, oh, I've rode him 4 out of 4 times.
Unbelievable.
I got this, sealed up, and then I go into it not trying as hard or not putting out the same amount of effort, and I make a mistake, and the bull throws you off.
Well, we're going to be rooting for you. We always have a tradition of rooting for whoever's nice enough to visit us. And I'm not going to lie, I root for the Bulls sometimes too.
Oh, yeah.
I never want anybody to get hurt.
But you want to see a wreck.
But he said it best. That's Sean Willingham of the PBR. Let me give you some information again. January 25th to 27th, Golden One Center. You can get your tickets right now. Seriously, stop what you're doing unless you're on the freeway. Then exit and pull into like a fast food place. Get online, Ticketmaster.com, and we're going to give you 15% off right now. Just use the code GOODTIME. That's one word, GOODTIME. Get you 15% off. January 25th to 27th, I'll be out there with my wife and my 2 young kids. It's really a very cool family event and extremely entertaining. We're there at the start all the way to the finish. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Yeah, thank you. It's going to be a good 3 days in January right here in Sacramento.
Well, please just stay safe. That's all I ever say to you guys. Just please stay safe.
Thank you.
Stay safe and good luck. We'll take a break. When we come back, what's on tap next right here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
It's that time. Text the word PLAY to 441140 and enter the Home Theater Company code word of the day for your chance to win a Samsung Blu-ray player. And 2 lucky winners will get brand new televisions. Listen and win all week, courtesy of Home Theater Company. Get more information at KHTK.com.
This is a Spare the Air alert. Today's air pollution is high. Here's what you need to do. Reduce your driving or don't drive at all. Share a ride or use public transportation. Help stop air pollution. Avoid heavy outdoor exertion in the afternoon when pollution is at its worst. Protect your health. Get current air pollution readings by downloading the free Sacramento Region Air Quality app today. This alert is brought to you by the Sac Metro Air District and the Air Districts of the Sacramento region.
If you're a pro, you know the drill. Pull off the impossible. Keep it affordable. Don't cut corners. The Home Depot is up to the challenge with top names like the Kohler Wellworth toilet. Now at a great price, just $119, almost $30 off. You don't compromise. With Kohler, you won't have to. The Kohler Wellworth toilet, only $119. Now at the #1 Kohler retailer, the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through October 31st.
Oh, Bud, I heard these guys live once.
How was it?
It was way more
like this! This is awesome!
Give them a concert experience they'll never forget and save on the ticket. Buy 2 boxes of participating Big G cereals like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Honey Nut Cheerios, or Lucky Charms for a $10 Ticketmaster Ticket Cash code.
Hey, how about tickets to the game Sunday? Seriously?
Must be 13 years or older. Redeem impact code by 10/27/18. Exclusions apply. Visit Ticketmaster.com/General Mills Cereal for full terms and conditions.
For new and certified pre-owned Kia sales year-to-date Sacramento. Well, the Niners will figure it out. And today is a great day to buy a car from John L. Sullivan Roseville Kia. We've grown so fast, we've added a second store in the Roseville Auto Mall for certified pre-owned Kias. Over 350 Kias and more Kia Sorrentos than anywhere in Northern California. Huge grand opening discounts. Your #1 sales leader for new and certified pre-owned Kias, the all-new John L. Sullivan Roseville Kia and certified pre-owned Kia in the Roseville Auto Mall.
I used to post to job boards.
Only to sort through tons of resumes.
Just to find a few candidates for
my sales team.
My hair salons.
That old process was not smart.
Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology scans resumes for me to find the right people
and actively invites them to apply.
So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/find. That's ZipRecruiter.com/find. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Right now at the Home Depot, save up to 35% on appliance special buys. Stop wondering when the best time to buy is, because it's now. Get a GE Appliances top-load washer and dryer, just $448 each. You save over $300 on the pair. The washer has a heavy-duty agitator for a powerful clean on top of the powerful savings. Save up to 35% with appliance special buys at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through October 17th. U.S. only while supplies last. Gas dryer extra. See store for details.
Hey, it's Damian Barling of The Lowdown. And if you're looking for a personal injury attorney, now mind you, I realize you might not be looking for a personal injury attorney, so I just want you to store this name in your brain. So you might give it to someone that you know. Travis Black of Travis Black and Associates. You see, they're personal injury attorneys that you can trust. They will be your team when you need it the most. Head over to their brand new website and you can learn all about them. Go to travisblacklaw.com. See, Travis was a former police officer. He was an insurance special investigation manager, so he's got the inside scoop and expertise to deal with all the behind-the-scenes stuff. There's not going to be any runaround with Travis Black and Associates. They're available 24/7 to address the needs and concerns of all of their clients. With Travis Black, you will be heard. Again, check out their brand new website, travisblacklaw.com, or give them a call for a free evaluation. You can call today, 916-962-2896. Again, that's 916-962-2896.
My name is Ruth Rusi, and this is how I live United. I read to children as part of United Way's education program. It helps them create links between language and literacy and prepares them for a better academic future. I figure I have the time and they have the need. My name is Ruth Rusi. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Grant Napier here. Nothing tops the feel and performance of driving a new Lexus. And there's no finer place to acquire one than Lexus of Roseville. In the Roseville Auto Mall. Here, Roseville, think Lexus.
Lexus Roseville. It's the end of the show. But it's the start of your workday. For a cold one, it's What's on Tap. Here's What's on Tap.
All right, our thanks so much to Sean Willingham of the PBR. And as I said, go to Ticketmaster.com. Get your tickets to the Sacramento Invitational, January 25th through the 27th. 15% off using the code Good Time. Before we get to What's on Tap, let's get to some breaking news as promised in the NFL. And for that breaking news, we go to the Kyle Madson, Kevin Mastodon Memorial Sports Desk. Here is Kyle. Hello, Kyle.
Hey, Dave. Thanks so much. Just wanted to get this report out there from the Carolina Panthers that they have signed former 49ers safety Eric Reed to a one-year deal.
Oh, Eric Reed.
So Eric Reed no longer unemployed. The Panthers put safety Denoris Searcy on injured reserve. They had an opening at that spot on their roster. It's a weakness on their roster.
Not anymore, apparently. Is Colin Kaepernick next? Like that attorney told TMZ. Patriots,
the 49ers
Raiders
have a need at safety.
Hey, and, let me just address the guy on the text line who's killing me. I must say, Dave is one oddly shaped human being. Size 16 shoe, big pine cone shaped head, Dr. Jack's favorite type of belly, and he's
that's the bowel movement guy.
Only 6'2" or so. Yes, he is. Let me just say a couple of things here. Number one, size 15 shoe. Number two, I'm closer to 6'4" than I am 6'2".
And it's more of a pineapple-shaped head.
Yeah, I would say like a
pine cone,
watermelon on its stand, or a.
It's not
oval.
that big a round, but it
Thank you.
It is very
long. Yeah. It's not very round, but it is very long. Oh, jeez, my head, my face.
Hey now.
Don't isolate that. Don't isolate that.
That's what she said.
All right, let's get to what's on. And you know what? The video thing, thanks to Jiffy Lube, thanks to Sac Republic. Yeah, my self-image, which I didn't already have one, is going through the ground.
I'm pretty good at that.
Kyle told me during the break. He says, hey Dave, he goes, turn your right shoulder a little bit kind of towards the camera. And I did that. I was like, why? Like, you want to see my Prestige Worldwide shirt or something? He said, it's just a bad angle for you. And I looked over at the monitor, and you were absolutely right. The way I had my shirt and the way my legs were up on this chair, it made it look like I have a gut that hangs over my hips.
That's why, hey, why do you think I spend most of the show standing?
Right? I might have to,
Because there's a lot here in the midsection, so when I sit, it all congregates.
Yeah.
In such a way,
the mic won't let me stand, and then I think I'd piss off Eunice because I don't know if the cameras can get that angle. Anyways, back off.
Yeah.
How about that? Yankees and
Boom.
Rays. Yankees and Rays start in just over an hour. How about that?
I will be locked in.
Locked
Shut up,
in.
Nick Saban.
Shut up, Nick Saban. The Oakland Athletics, well, I can tell you right now, there's literally no way I guarantee it, there is no way they lose today.
Yeah, so basically, here's the implication for A's fans. They're a game and a half behind the Yankees. If the Yankees win, they'll go to 2 games back with 3 games to play. They would need the Yankees to get swept, and they would need to sweep the Angels to host the wild card game. If the Yankees lose, the A's need to at least take 2 of 3 while the Yankees lose.
I called it before that the A's were going to catch them, and then I jinxed them the other night. So now
It's your fault.
I'm adjusting. I'm telling you, they're going to be tied at the end of the year. And,
That's bad because then the Yankees
have the tiebreaker. So
I love me some Sacramento.
Mariners, Rangers. We don't care about the Mariners anymore, right?
Nope,
No.
they've been out of it. The Yankees are the only team that matter to the A's.
Right. Giants are off. And in the NFL, Vikings, Rams tonight, 5:20. Hey, let me do a little public service announcement for a lot of you guys. This is for real. Set your fantasy lineups now. Every year in every league, there's at least a handful of people that forget about the Thursday game and they don't set their lineups.
Tough. Really tough.
And they get screwed.
Luckily, it's Vikings-Rams, so hopefully they're in your lineups already.
You would think so, but let's just remember, you've got Jared Goff, you've got Todd Gurley, you have Brandon Cooks, you have Robert Woods.
I made sure to put Cooper Kupp in my lineup.
You have Cooper Kupp, and then you have Kirk Cousins. You might have Dalvin Cook in there, Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs, Kyle Rudolph. And you have 2 defenses that a lot of people play as well in the Rams and the Vikings. There's a lot of fantasy football implications. You could argue maybe more fantasy football players, if you count defenses and kickers, in this matchup than maybe any game this week, as a matter of fact, and it's happening on a Thursday night.
Yeah, a possible NFC championship on a Thursday. Hold on. I'm coming.
What?
Huh?
That's what she said.
I want to thank Jeff Risden of the Browns Wire. Don't isolate that. Sam Amick of The Athletic.
First of all, you're not smarter than me.
Kenny Thomas and Walt White. Kenny Thomas, formerly of the Kings. Walt White, former fire chief of Sacramento.
Former high school teacher.
That's right. Former high school teacher in New Mexico. Sure he never hears that one, right?
Yeah, no, we're the first people to make that joke.
Sean Willingham of the PBR.
I love me some Sacramento.
Eunice backstage making sure the video cast goes fantastically.
I'm pretty good at that.
Jiffy Lube and Sac Republic for bringing you that video cast.
Shut up, Nick Saban.
What was that again? I can't hear it. It's too low. What did he say?
Shut up, Nick Saban.
You shut up. And most importantly, I want to thank all of the listener for listening in. Mom, Dad, Kyle's family.
Great job researching, Vladdy. Really good researching there.
Couple of friends I went to high school with. Jim Rome is next, followed by The Lowdown. Sit back, relax, just lock it in for the rest of the day right here on Sports 1140 KHTK. Bye now.
I didn't realize. I just read the notes the scouts gave me.